Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Effective Living Monday Night Conversations. I am super excited to have you here. I am Coach Deborah D. Smith, your host for tonight, and I appreciate the opportunity given to me by our president and founder of Effective Living, Coach Ricardo Miller. You know, he is teaching thousands to live a life that you don't want to take a vacation from. So again, thank you, sir, for the opportunity. You know, these Monday night conversations are great. So I am pleased to be here tonight, and I have a very special guest with me, Cynthia Ferguson. How are you tonight, Cynthia?
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm really doing well, thank you.
Great. So happy to have you here. Excuse me. If you do what you've always done, you will get what you have always gotten. Likewise, when you do things the same way that other people do, you get the results that they have been getting all the time. You don't get anything different. And we have to understand in life that change is good. I'm going to say that again. Change is good. You know, sometimes we get in our ways, and we always talk about being consistent and everything, and so we just chug along, but the world around us is changing, and so we have to change as well. So if everyone does the same things the same way, we will just be in a quandrum. We'll just be stuck. No forward progress. So we don't want to have that. So tonight, Cynthia and I are going to be talking about the road less traveled. The road less traveled. And Cynthia, why don't you start out by telling everyone about yourself?
Okay, well, hi, my name is Cynthia Ferguson. I am a mother of three young men, one biological who is 28, and two God promised children, one who is 25 and one who is 6 years old. God promised me children. He just never told me how I would get those children. And so I am a mother of all boys right now. And I am also a school nurse medic. I have worked with the school for 10 years. I am the founder of the Wolfettes Empowerment Group, which is a girls group that I started through the school 8 years ago. I am a certified life coach and a mentor, and I love doing what I do.
Right. That sounds very interesting. And I know I've talked about this, and you probably say, I'm not going to hold my breath, but I keep saying we have to get these girls and guys together, but we really do.
We're
going to do it this year.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So we're talking about the road less traveled. Now, this book, The Road Less Traveled, was actually written by a psychiatrist, M. Scott Peck, back in 1978. And he based this on the work that he had been doing with his clients. He established a recipe based on love, spirituality, and self-discipline that created a fulfilled life. So based on working with his clients, he came up with this recipe that in order to have a fulfilled life, you had to have spirituality, love, and self-discipline. Now, his recipe includes staying open to change, realizing love is more vital than a feeling, and religion is a distinct perception of the world. Now, when we talk about self-discipline, I love that part of it. I really do. And my platform, Build Your Best Life, you know, we have 5 pillars. And one of the pillars is self-discipline. So there are 5 pillars that is essential as a building material to build your best life. And self-discipline is the second pillar. So I was just really excited when I saw that. So it is necessary to be self-disciplined. So Cynthia, people frequently refer to, they prefer to take the road that is traveled all the time. But I would say I think it is better maybe to take a different path or take that road less traveled as you try to grow. What is your perspective?
Well, of course, it's always easier to take the road that everybody else is because you know what's going to happen for the most part. You know if you're going to go uphill or downhill, you know where the curves are, but it's a harder decision to take that road that's less traveled. But I think that it is definitely a benefit because I mean there's several reasons. You're paving a way for others. You are learning as you go. There's just many benefits of it because only you know where you want to end up. Nobody else has that same vision goal. Because if we all had the same vision or goals, we wouldn't even have this conversation of which road to take. So I just feel like, it's definitely sometimes pushes you to your limits. But if you want something bad enough, you're gonna take that road that nobody else is, and you're gonna pave that way, and you're gonna do it proudly. You're gonna be proud of yourself. I mean, we how we feel whenever we accomplish something. I mean, we feel proud. I feel proud if I accomplish something, even if it's minute. It's just, it's fun. So I think that it's very beneficial to push yourself to those limits and just do it.
Right. I agree. Sounds good. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. You know, it almost comes down to, I don't want to change. I'm just going to be lackadaisical, let everybody else do the work, and I'll just come right along, and whatever they've paved the way on, I'll just take that. But they're really making their lives just stagnant. So I love that. People can cope better when they are doing something that's comfortable. Taking the road less traveled can be scary because you don't know what may pop up as you are going along your way. Recently, my husband and I traveled to Lynchburg, Virginia, and we went by car. Excuse me. A friend of his had given him the directions from the hotel where we were staying in Troutville, Virginia, to the university in Lynchburg. However, that morning when we got ready to go, my husband put the information in his GPS on his phone. So it had us to turn right by the hotel, and we were going along. Well, the road that it took us through was Mountain View Road. And Mountain View Road was a road through the mountains. So it was fast, but it was windy. It was so scary till I was like sitting like this the entire time because it was scary. But it was a different route than he was told to go because that other route, he probably would have ran into traffic. But taking this quicker route, which was different, it was scary. But it got us where we were going and we didn't run into any traffic. So it was better for us, So the same thing happens in life. So, taking a new path, it may lead to pitfalls, rough terrain, obstacles, what have you. But can you see that this still can turn out to be beneficial?
Absolutely. I mean, because you get to learn more about yourself and what you're capable of. You learn your limits a little bit more. You know how far you can push yourself to get there. If you want something bad enough, we've always heard the saying, if you want something bad enough, you're gonna do what it takes to get there.
Right.
And I've been guilty of it, of stalling, grinding my heels in the ground and not wanting to budge because I knew that it was easier to do what everybody else does. But I found myself stagnant until I pushed myself and said, okay, let me try this path. Let me try my way. Sometimes it's the right way, sometimes it's not, but we never know if we're not willing to take that path that nobody else has. And that goes for anything in life. It could be from the littlest thing as, like you said, taking a road trip and the roads are, winding and, that's pretty much how our life is. If we want to accomplish, writing a book or starting a business or whatever it is that we want to do, starting a family, we could have followed in our family's footsteps and like, well, everybody stayed at home, everybody did this. And, nowadays people want to have a family, work, try it your way, start a business. Look at how many people started the businesses during the pandemic.
Right.
That was a hard time. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I didn't try it. So it might have been the best time.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people made it.
Yes.
Going through something different. I was on was our it's Women's Month at our church, and I was on a program last week, and they had ladies on that had written books, and one of the questions was, what was the most difficult thing for you? And for me, it was being in that pandemic, you know, and it got to a certain point. It was like, because people were working from home, is like the processes that normally flowed were just like slow. So
yeah, that was a tough time. And and I think we're still trying to find our way in this path of our life because of the pandemic, trying to figure out where we're going now, what's going to happen next, what moves are we going to make, just regular everyday life. So I think in a little ways, we're still going through that as a society, trying to figure out what path we're going to take with the pandemic that has happened, and how people are going to react and try to get back to the normalcy. So that's kind of the same effect.
All right. Well, when you follow a new process, a goal or lesson, you're never sure what to expect, because when you start doing it, sometimes it's like, if you come up with it, you're thinking you're going to get a particular outcome, but it may not pan out the way you think, or someone has you to do it and you don't know what's going to, come about. You don't have that previous result to look upon. So, it's something I've never done before. So what's going to happen? But one thing that Coach says, he says that the road less traveled is usually not yet mapped out. Therefore, the only thing you really have to go on is your intelligence, your logic, your perseverance, and some prayer in hopes of reaching your destination. So, what do you think about that?
Lots of prayer for sure. Lots of prayer. Well, you have to have all of that to make that next move. I mean, you have to have the perseverance. You have to have definitely common sense to know, okay, if this is not working out, then let me, move away. Let me try something else. I think it's just a combination of everything that you need to move forward, to try it, to not give up. Not giving up is a big one, because it's so easy to give up if it's not going your way, or it's so easy to just throw your hands up and say, that didn't work. Let me go the way that it's been paved for me. You can go that way, and you're going to come up with the end result that maybe you didn't want. You're going to come up with the same result as the 50 people who were ahead of you. Mm-hmm. So, we just persevere in what we're doing and continue to do it, whether it's effective or not. That's how we learn. We learn whether it's going to work or not for us. We learn, we may say, take level A. Level A didn't work, so we're going to take level B, level C, whatever it takes to get to that end point. I mean, we have to definitely persevere, push ourselves, because if we want something, we're going to get out there and do what it takes to get to that point. Some of it takes a little longer, because everybody's 100% is not your 100%. Right. So we have to, we have to know what our limits are and what others' limits are, and not discourage somebody else for something that they may be doing, and not feel discouraged if we're doing it at a slower pace or a faster pace, whether it's working immediately or not. So we've got to just be patient. We've got to definitely encourage each other in everything that we do.
Right. So can you probably can think of a lot of them, but like an example where you're trying to teach young ladies something different, and they tried it your way, and because it was new, they didn't want to do it, and they were wanting to give up, and you're like, no, you can do it. Do, how bad do you want this? And talk to them and encourage them, and then once they saw that, okay, she's not going to give up, and I really want this, and then try from there. Has that ever happened?
Oh, absolutely. Many times. And with my group, one of the big things that we do, I teach them about different things, but about their self-worth, but they got to love themselves to be able to, you know, do the next step or whatever it is that we're doing. And one of the activities that we do at the very beginning, during the process, and at the end is I have them hold up a mirror and look at themselves and give themselves a compliment. And they look at me like I'm crazy because it's something that they've never done. So it's a new path for them. And, we get it done. They look at me. Some don't want to do it. Some are like, this is really dumb. I don't want to do that. But by the end of all the classes, these girls have found their own way of doing it, whether it's in the mirror, closing their eyes at first, or standing up, in a big mirror, in a hand mirror, and they do it. So yes, I've been there where they look at me like I'm crazy because they've never done this before. But the end result is that they learn to love themselves. So yes, absolutely. I think we just, continue to encourage and push each other to get to that point.
Yes. But I think this topic is so broad because if you really think about it and dig deep down in it, you think about, okay, the road less traveled, and you almost want to say, oh, but I want to take the road. I want to go the road this. No, I don't want to take the road that's less traveled. I want to go take what? Well, why do they want me to take the road less traveled? Is that a mistake? And most people probably read that and think, is that a mistake? Why would I want to take the road less traveled? Because it's just like anything else, you can grow. You want to grow. You don't want to be, I always say, like a lifelong learner. So you learned, you're very good at investments, and you're teaching. That's what you do for a living. You can do investing with your eyes closed, half asleep. So you've done that for years, and so it's just second nature to you. You teach people, but how do you really, really teach someone something? It's just like if you're teaching a Sunday school lesson and you open the book and you read it and you're like, okay, I got it. But yeah, I got it. But if I'm going to teach you and make sure that you understand and probably answer some questions, I got to think, now, what might they ask me that I don't see just from looking at this? I have to research. I got to dig deeper. So that's, the whole thing. So if you're going to be invested in teaching other people, you want to be the best that you can be, and you want to dig. So you're not going to get that going down that road that everybody else is going. You got to think outside the box. Got to think differently. What's out there that may be new that people haven't heard about yet? Hey, I want to be on the cutting edge. I want to, let my people know sooner rather than later. This is coming soon. Everybody hadn't heard about it, but it's coming. So, it's just a big thing. And I don't think people, really, they hear that, but they, it's like one of those things. Everybody's in a hurry, so they don't really hear the road less traveled.
Right. I mean, but if you think about it, I mean, it's people usually don't want to put the work into it because if you're going to take a road that's less traveled, you're going to have to work, like you said, you're going to have to research to figure out which route you're going. The cause and effect attitude. Or if I go this way, it's going to cause me to do this. Is it going to have the positive effect, negative effect? But we don't know because it's a road that's been less traveled. So you have to get out there and you have to take those chances. What is that saying that they say, old results, if you do the same thing, you get the old results. same results. I can't think of the saying. You know what I'm talking about?
The same thing all the time. We get the same
Yeah,
results.
you're going to get the same results. And some of us learn, some of us don't. We still do the same thing. It's funny because I had saw a saying, and it stuck with me. It says, if someone tells you you can't, they're showing you their limits, not yours. And when I saw that, it kind of jogged my brain to say, you know what, that's kind of about what we're going to talk about tonight, because a lot of times the limits that we put on ourselves are causing us not to take that new route. It's just the limits that we put on our minds, on our hearts, on our brains are just saying, you know what, let's just do it the same way that everybody else has done it. Because, of course, it's scary. And you don't want to let anybody down. You don't want to let yourself down. But again, you don't know what you're capable of until you get out there and push yourself to do it. You could surprise yourself. I know I've surprised myself many times.
Right. Exactly. Yes. It's amazing what you can make yourself do.
Well, true, because you don't know, the destination and you know where you want to be at. And we don't always know right now how we're going to get there. But you mentioned it earlier, with a lot of prayer, a lot of perseverance, a lot of research, it takes a combination of everything to get to that point. You can't just get up one day and say, I'm going, like you said, you went on a trip. You to get up and say, I'm going there. Well, you haven't thought about, well, how am I going to get there? Am I going to go airplane? Am I going to go train? Am I going to go bus? Am I going to walk? Am I going to do something, out of the box and take a scooter there? You don't know. You have to know where your destination is, but you have to be willing to take that chance to get to that destination.
Right. I think I did something with this subject last year, and one of the things I thought about as I was doing it, it's just like, let's just say I'm from a different state, but I haven't been there in 20 years. So, okay, I want my family to know where I came from. So we're going to take a trip back to, and I'll just make up somewhere, Utah. So we take this trip, and I remember we need to turn on Highway 20. So we get to Highway 20, no exit there anymore. Oh, wow. So we better pull over, and then they put this in the GPS. So, okay, this is telling us to go a whole different way. But I know how to go 20. We just live. My grandparents' house is just right over there. Why can't we go 20? Okay, let's go this other way. This road I've never been down before. I don't know, what's going to happen, how long it's going to take, or anything like that. But we'll go. You go down this road, and it's like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that they had that restaurant here. I have been wanting to go to that restaurant forever. If we had gone down 20, I never would have seen this restaurant. Mom, they have an adventure landing. They have an adventure landing with a slide, a lazy pool. Oh, can we go now? No, you can't go now. But if we had gone down 20, we wouldn't have seen all this stuff. So, having to push myself to go down this road where we've never been before, this road less traveled from the last time I was here. Look at all these beautiful things that are here that we never would have seen. We never would have gotten to eat these foods, or the kids wouldn't have as much fun if we had gone that old way.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is that whatever road it is we're taking, we're still going to survive. You survived taking that road. We've survived, just in general in life, a road that we may have never taken before. For the first time that you get married, it's a road you've never taken. The first time you have a child, it may be, a road you've never taken. The first time you've lost a family member, or something tragic or something exciting has happened, we survive all these things. And I think maybe knowing, hey, okay, so it's the road less traveled, I'm going to survive it. Now, I may come out a little tattered and torn because, like you said, sometimes there's those hard roads, the pitfalls. But if you stay faithful, I think faith has a lot to do with it. You have to stay faithful and know that I truly believe that God is not going to take you down a path that He's not going to prepare you for.
That's right.
So I just knowing that, okay, hey, I'm going to be okay when I come out of this, no matter what has happened all through here. When I get here, I'm going to be okay. And if I'm at that point and it's still not where I want to go, then at least I know a little bit more now than what I did when I first started. And it makes it a little bit easier and more comfortable for you to take on the next step, and then the next step, or the next challenge, or the next business, or whatever the case may be.
Yes, definitely. That's good stuff. And I like it when you put it into, something that everyone is familiar with. That's so helpful.
Yeah, because there's a lot of us. The first time anything happens like that, we don't know. We don't know. We feel at that time, well, we're not going to survive this. How are we going to get through this? And we get through it. Starting a new job. Oh my gosh, everything hits you. Is like, how am I going to get through this? But you do, and the outcome is that, well, first of all, you get to work. You're working. You get to do the things that you may want to do, save up for a vacation, buy a house, buy a car. So the benefits definitely outweigh the alternative of not even trying in the first place.
That's right. Yep. Yes, and see, I like this comment from Billy. Billy says, choose a destination and opt to do what it takes to get there. That's good. Thank
Definitely.
you. Yes.
Definitely.
All right. So, we have determined, talked about this road less traveled and the perceptions that different people have and where it can take you. And it's a little different. But, there are some truths to taking the road less traveled. Because as we stated before, you have to try something different, travel the road that's less traveled to get some different results. And so Cynthia and I want to go over 5 truths of taking the road less traveled. And so Cynthia is going to start out for us.
All right. So life isn't easy. Don't expect it to be. Of course, I think we know that sometimes we may be going along and everything is going our way, and we're just skipping along life, and then all of a sudden the bottom drops out. It's not easy, but if you pick yourself back up, keep moving, we're going to make it. We're all going to make it. Some of us have a harder time, some of us don't, but if we choose that right path along the way, it just makes it easier, especially knowing if we've been through something before, that the outcome is definitely going to be a positive one for us.
Okay. The second truth is, the comfort zone is a trap. Your potential lies outside of it. It's a trap. So, often we do get caught up. We are used to doing what works, knowing the results. We know that they're going to be correct because we know what they are. Everyone's going to be satisfied, and we're just going to be so pleased because we are used to doing this. But that's just a trap, because if that's what you do, again, you're getting the same results. You're not learning. You're not growing. You're just stagnant. And if you care anything about your growth and development, that's not what you want. So you want to take the time to think. Stop and think. Okay, this is what I have been doing, but is that what I want to continue to do? it's comfortable, but if it's so comfortable and so easy and I can just get it done like that, it must be something more that I could be doing. So, people, processes, and technology all change so quickly. I mean, it's just like with the phones, before people that get all the latest gadgets, before they can make 3 or 4 payments on one phone, another phone has come out because they've changed something. Now, those old phones that you have, they do update those, but but if you got to have a new one, they're changing. They're changing something in those things. So, but it's all kind of technology. It's different methodology. Something is changing. So there's
Mm-hmm.
a better way of doing something. There's a more efficient way of doing something. If you're using technology that, so you may find that you're using technology, but you're using something that is, obsolete, because probably a couple years, the only thing I knew was Facebook and YouTube. I didn't know about Instagram and Twitter and all of that. So there's other ones now. You got TikTok, you got all these things. And if you want to stay relevant, if you want to be able to service those people that you're trying to help, you got to speak their language. You got to know what they like, so you have to make some changes. Have you forgotten that something has changed that is good? You've been using something and you love it, so you don't worry about if it has changed or not, because you just love that. And I remember I was this when I was working on my bachelor's degree and I was working on a project. So now you gotta realize my age. When I learned to type on a typewriter. So back then, when you typed a period, you spaced twice after a period. When you learn how to type. And so that's what I've always done. So when I started using the computer, I kept doing that. And so nobody had ever said anything. I've always done it, and it worked for me because I know to space twice and keep it moving. Well, I was working on this project, and I would get a part of people's documents, and then I would change them. And so then this one guy, he sent me a text, and he asked me. He said, "Well, what is this thing with the 2 spaces? Is that?" But no, it wasn't. Knew I was behind because I didn't realize that as they taught people how to type, I guess on PCs, you only space once. So I guess that's when it changed. I really don't know when it changed, how long it had changed, but you only got to space once now. So I changed, but I have been doing it for so long, I catch myself still doing it. But that's just how things change. If nobody tells you or you don't research and try to find out, you'll just be lost because things are changing.
I'm laughing because I did the same thing. I did until it's been probably 6 to 8 months ago when I found out that you don't have to double space anymore.
I thought you were laughing at me.
I was laughing at myself.
Hey, so you didn't get the memo either.
Nope. I think they stopped at a certain year before they sent the memo.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that happens. So you have to start, thinking outside the box. This is where I am. Where is it that I want to go? This person is doing this, and the other. Is that what I want to do? Let me do some research. Let me talk to some people. Let me find out, is that the best route? Just because that's what these 5 people over here are doing, that may not be the best, way for me to do it, whatever
Right.
it is. You got to do critical thinking. You got to perform research. You have to get other people's input. A lot of times when you're taking, you go to college and you're taking different classes and you like, well, why do I have to take that? Well, why do I have to take that? I'm not going to ever use that. Yes, you will end up needing it. It may not be as in depth as that they teach you unless you're majoring in that, but all that information will help you in the long run. But you just have to not get so comfortable that, it's just okay. This is just whatever. So, I learned and Cynthia learned that we don't have to double space anymore. So what we said, oh, I'm just gonna keep doing it. Why? What? Why?
I learned when I was trying to help a friend edit their bio, and I was going through, and I said, "There's just too many. Let me just call her." And she's like, "What are you talking about? You don't have to double space anymore." So yeah, it was funny at the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. All right.
so number 3 is master your emotions or you'll become enslaved to them. When I heard that, I kind of think about, only we can control our emotions, how we react, how we proact. Um, because, like I used to tell my kids all the time, you can't control somebody else's actions, you can control yours. You can't control how somebody's going to respond, you can control yours. As hard as it may be sometimes, we have to learn that, because people can control us by the way we respond, and they don't think so. And what I mean about that is somebody can get you so riled up and so upset, and they're going to go on. They're going to be okay. And then you're going to be over here just all in your feelings, or all upset, or all mad, make you have a bad day. You don't want to do this. You're mad at work. You're mad at your family. They're basically controlling how you feel, and they're fine. They're fine. So you have to learn to master your emotions. Whether it's through, okay, somebody upset you. Okay, so you either try to talk it out with them or take a step back, think about it, think to yourself, okay, let me meditate, let me go have a cup of coffee, whatever it is that you need to do to pull yourself back where it's not going to affect everybody else that comes along that day, because it's not their fault. And, it's easy for us to take it out on somebody else, especially taking it out on the ones that are closest to you, because you spend most of the time with them, which is your family, or your coworkers. You don't want to have to come back and apologize to somebody later for something that could have been resolved in the first place. I mean, hopefully, if it happens, you do go back and apologize. But I know that somebody's always going to have something to say to you, about your job, about how you're doing things. Somebody's going to always have something to say, whether it's good or bad. And we can't let that, like the old saying says, get under your skin. Because once it's under there, it's harder to control. You got to learn to have a little bit tougher skin and let it slide off. I know I have found, as I've gotten older, I don't sweat the little things. I don't. I pick my battles. I really pick my battles. If it's nothing that's going to harm somebody, catch the house on fire, cause an accident, it's like, okay, when you're done, clean up your mess, whatever. When I was younger, when I first got married, everybody knew when they came over to my house, you can't touch anything, don't touch the walls, don't touch this, don't touch that. And then life happened, you have kids, situations happen in life. And then it was not until after my husband had passed away that it really clicked that, you know what? Why am I sweating the little things in life? Sofas were meant to be sat on and enjoyed. You got to touch the wall to flip a light on. That's why they sell paint. That's why they have carpet cleaners. That's why they have, all these things. And so once I let go of that, and that was just a small portion, I let go of that, I've been more at peace. Now, I do have to clean up more often, but I'm more at peace. I'm learning to master my emotions on how I react to situations, because I can't control everything and nobody can control anything. So I think just learning to do that is going to make such a huge difference in our lives. Um, well, peacefully, for me, it did.
Right. Yes. Back to that self-discipline. The self-discipline. So, you're controlling, the individuals are controlling themselves, or you're controlling yourself. So you're in control. So when people just react anyway, whatever emotion comes up, it's just like going, you might have to put yours on mute while I'm talking. Not sure what's going on. Um, it's just like going down that road, that path that everybody goes down. Everybody just can just act a fool. It's okay. And then when when life happens, you mature, you see how things are differently. Hey, I don't have to react like that. I'm in
Yeah,
control of me. I can't control them, but I can control me. Let me go down this road here. This path is for me. I'm going down this path of being having self control, being more patient with people, loving people where they are. That's going to help me. So
definitely,
it's good.
definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, Number 4 is pain is the root of growth. Seek it. Pain is the root of growth. Seek it. Um, so, like I said, everybody should want to grow. You should want to grow, develop yourself to get better. I have millions of examples, but I just picked out a few. Michael Jordan, it's known. He said it time and time again. I missed 9,000 shots. I lost 300 games. Thomas Edison, he failed to perfect the alkaline battery almost 50,000 times. Almost 50,000 times. We do something 1 or 2 times, like, heck with it, I'm gone. So people didn't know anything about a computer or PC or anything like that. Job said his goal was to get a computer in the hands of every household. Tyler Perry, he had tons of talent, but he kept running into brick walls. He just couldn't win for losing. He had to become broke and homeless before he had to change or saw any different. Jennifer Hudson, she was on a popular one of our talent shows on TV. She didn't make it. They told her she wasn't good enough. But what has happened to all of these people? Steve Jobs, he almost did it. I mean, there may not be a PC in every household, but some households have so many, it makes up for those that don't have any. I know that doesn't make up for the people that don't have them, but they can probably use them at school or whatever. But he kept working until he, took this big machine and got it smaller and smaller and smaller to people could have them in their households. They became affordable. And you think about it, it's like, where would we be if we didn't have PCs and iPads and smartphones? Tyler Perry, look at all the talent this man has. I mean, he has his own studio. He helped, and he's not somebody just went from rags to riches, but he actually helps people. And if you ever listen to his stories, I know that some of them are just, I mean, they'll make you laugh so hard you fall on the floor and roll. But if you listen to all of his movies, they have significant real life situations that he's helping us with. Now, if he had given up when he became homeless and said, you know what, the heck with this, I'm just gonna get me a job, we wouldn't have had all of that. The people that he has helped would not have been able to be helped. Jennifer Hudson, if she had said, okay, well, they said I can't sing, so oh well. How many hits has she put out? She's even been in movies. She's gone through some other things, but she's come through all of that. Thomas Edison, he didn't give up after 1,000 times, 10,000 times. He kept going. Look how many times Michael Jordan missed shots. He just kept on and kept on until he perfected what he was going to do. These people didn't give up. If they had to take that road less traveled, they did it. Why you say, well, that's not the road less traveled. Other people played basketball. Yeah, but they didn't do what Michael Jordan did. If you ever research Michael Jordan, he wasn't one that just practiced during practice time. After games, when other players left to go home to their families or out to hang with the fellows or whatever, Mike stayed in the arena and practiced. That was a purpose, a gift that God had given him, and he was destined to keep on whatever he had to do. It didn't have to be what everybody else was doing. He did his thing to be the great name that he is. And Thomas Edison, we know all the things that he invented. Steve Jobs was just brilliant. And again, I just can't say enough about Tyler Perry and then Jennifer Hudson. But like I say, there are so many other people that could have gone right, but they went left. They didn't know what was going to happen when they went in that direction, what outcome they were going to have. Was it going to be good? Was it going to be bad? Was it just going to be horrific? But they did it anyway, and they came out on top. You never know what's going to happen if you don't try. So this is what you have to do. If you want to grow, you want to develop, you want to become better, you have to put in some work and do some things. You have to take those roads, those avenues, those streets that you've never been down before. Do some things that you've never done before. Learn some things you've never done before. You used to just coming home, eating, helping kids with homework, go to bed, start over the next day. You got to stick some other things in there. You got to read some books. You got to take some classes. You got to do some things so you can be better and do some different things. You have to work extremely hard. Things are not just going to fall in your lap. And that's why it's the road less traveled. You got to do some things, but it's one journey that will benefit you and it will help you so much.
Definitely. And you saying that, there's God has placed gifts in all of us. And, sometimes we're still trying to find what it is. But just think about how many people out there haven't taken that road or tried to take that road, and how many more people would be so more accomplished if they just took a chance. Mm-hmm. I mean, just think of the percentages. It could be thousands, millions of people. So I agree with what you just said, as you have to be willing to go out there and take that chance.
Yes.
Number 5, limits only exist in your mind. You can do more. I think we're the only one who's limiting ourselves. We have a man that comes out to our school, and he talks to our kids about chains on your brains. And you have to unlock those chains on your brains to keep moving. And when I read that about limiting your mind, it reminded me of that. Because think about it, if we're putting chains on our brains, what do chains do? They keep us locked in. Right. And your brain and your mind wants to be free to have all these, ideas, thoughts, or whatever it is, to get out there and be free. We limit ourselves in the way that we could accomplish moving forward. We can limit ourselves in talking to somebody, meeting somebody, taking that chance. And I'm guilty of this. I limit myself on, I won't get on a cruise because my mind is still locked in that fear of the water like that. And so, we do that. It's little things in life. Some of us, you may not want to try something because of the fear of what's in your brain, that chain on your brain. And I think if we could just try to loosen it up little by little, that we can start taking those steps. Nobody knows my goal, my vision, my dream. So it's not going to be the same for them. If I can learn to just keep moving forward down that path, down that road, whether it goes up, down, sideways, whatever, and keep my eye on the prize, as they say, then I think that many of us, if we do that, will accomplish a lot more. Although it's scary sometimes, although it's limiting, we limit ourselves. We can limit ourselves in, oh my gosh, so many things. We try to teach our kids to be open-minded. You mentioned something earlier about, times changing. And sometimes there's old school thinking that I think we're probably in that, well, I'm gonna speak for myself, in that age level that's, still some old school thinking, and then the new school thinking. And I think what has helped me, working in a school is because I see the different age levels and how they act and how they think. And if I want to get through to somebody, I need to change with the times. So I have to unlock that limits on my mind and be willing to open up and talk about it, experience it, feel it, touch it, all of that, to be able to try to get to that point where I'm going, where I want to be, what I want to do. If I want to help somebody, then I need to be willing to open up my mind to do it the way that I'm going to be able to get their attention, and not just be set in my way and say, this is the way it's been done before, this is what we're going to do, and stay on that old path, as opposed to, well, let's try this. I've read about this. This is how they're doing it now. Let's try it. It's a new path. Let's try it. If it works, that's wonderful. If it doesn't, then we need to do more research and figure out what is going to work. So I think by doing more, that's what it means, is that you have to find a way to reach others, find a way to actually, you have to reach yourself first to know what you want to do. Open your mind, open your heart, and give your best in everything that you do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. It's like Billy said, yes, take a chance. You have to take a chance on some things. Like in my book, I have a chapter, never say never. And that was one of the things. Never say I'll take a cruise. I won't take a cruise. Never say I won't eat anything I can't pronounce. We have to take chances, and not trying to push you to get on a cruise or you can anything like that. But yeah,
I'm working on it.
Well, yes, you do have to take chances. But I love that statement from the gentleman, chains on your brain. I mean, and he couldn't have said it any better. So he just came up with a great concept. But, we stop ourselves a lot of times by putting those limits on. And, like you say, we're the only ones that control ourselves. And so even when people try to assist, sometimes and try to help you out, because just think if somebody has said, now, Deborah, you don't put those two spaces in there. And I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. I know how to type, and just kept doing it, Okay, so I don't want to be helped. I didn't ask any questions about, okay, why or anything like that. I just going to do what I think is right. You're not learning, you're not growing when you do those things. You are putting those chains on, and what happens to a lot of people, Coach always says that there is someone assigned to assist you. But if someone keeps trying to help you or make suggestions or even give you feedback, and you always just look at them, I'm good, what's going to happen? They aren't going to try to help you anymore. You're lost. So we have to open ourselves up, and it's just essential. So I think those 5 truths are very, very good, and if you have not already read the blog from today, you need to go out there and read the blog in its entirety. The Road Less Travel, because it is very, very good. And this is awesome. This is something you could talk about probably for a month, because there are so many different aspects of this that we could go, that would be useful to everybody. So we're getting close to our time here. So I really do appreciate you coming on with me. I was thinking, who can I get to be my guest? And I said, oh, Cynthia. I like Cynthia's on.
Well, I appreciate it. I truly do. I enjoy our conversations. I enjoy listening, to different podcasts, because you learn so much from it, and it gives you a different insight and takes you out of just your thinking. So I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And just let everyone know what you're doing again and how they can contact you if they want to contact you, because you're doing some things out there.
Yes. Again, I'm Cynthia Ferguson. I am a mother of 3 young men. I have a girls empowerment group. I'm on Facebook at Wolfettes Empowerment Group. It's just WOLFETTES Empowerment Group. And, check us out. I am a certified life coach and a mentor, and I love what I do.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. All right. And, so just stop. I want everybody to stop trying to do what is easy. Everybody can do that. Step out on your faith. Do things that will stretch and grow you. Be bold. Live life on your terms. You don't have to flow with the status flow. You can go against the grain. You don't have to flow with the rain. Don't conform. Show others how to be reinform yourself. Re-instructure yourself. I'm something new. I'm someone new. I'm doing something different. Let me show you what I'm doing. So, don't think, you have to do things the same way that everybody else has done. Be you. And, it was a wonderful life lesson that Coach Ricardo gave us in all of this. And it may be scary to take the road less traveled, but it will lead you to the best results.
Yes.
It may be scary, but it will lead you to the best results and best rewards. We thank you for coming out tonight. And again, my name is Coach Deborah Smith, and you can catch me on buildyourbestlife.org. But tonight, I think this was a great topic. I love the interaction that Cynthia and I had. It is wonderful. Please make sure that you tune in next Monday night. We have 5 Mondays this month. And so Anastasia Smith from Nassau, Bahamas will be our co-host for Monday Night Conversation. So please tune in and join Anastasia next week. Now, if you have not got a copy of this book, Effective Living, what are you waiting on? You are missing out. This is a great book. It has a section in the back for you to put in different information. It has declarations in it. It is awesome. So if you have not gotten your book, if you have been listening to us, thinking about it, you have heard some of Coach Ricardo's other broadcasts, and you've been thinking, you know what? I want to change my life. I think, it sounds good, wanting to live a life I don't want to take a vacation from. That sounds good, but I want to grow. I want to be better. Just visit www.ricardomiller.com. Sign up for a free consultation. Have a conversation with him. Order a copy of his book, but that's www.ricardomiller.com. You won't regret it. is phenomenal. You will grow, grow, grow. So if growing is what you want to do, you want to take that road less travel, contact Coach Ricardo Miller. So we thank you so much for tuning in, because guess what? You could have been anywhere else tonight, but you joined Cynthia and I for the road less travel, and we appreciate it. So thank you. Be blessed. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Cynthia.
Thank you.